Hi guys, you're welcome to. I've forgotten what number it is. This is
Four.
This is season 2, episode 4, and I'm joined as usual by MFR, and I'm happy to announce our first guest on How Did We Get Here. So we have Dr. Prince Adjei joining us today. He is clap! I can't hear you clapping, and he's an AI researcher and he works at the intersection of AI and health. So today I'm surrounded by AI specialists, and I hope I can say something intelligent because we are the ones with the fancy jobs. Anyway, friends, so I saw something today and I thought we should talk about it. I saw an interesting tweet. I'm always on Twitter, so that's where it's happening. And somebody said a computer used to be a job title, then a computer became a thing humans used. Now a computer is becoming a thing computers use. Discuss.
I mean, it's true because I don't know if you've watched Hidden Figures,
It cannot be me.
but it's a movie that portrays
I'll keep it for
history
December.
where human beings were like calculators. They were mostly women, actually. Girl power.
Girl power. Oh, shout
Black
out!
women.
Recently, we had International Women's Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy.
Yes.
Hey, so did
Mom.
I congratulate you or
No,
wish
you
you happy
didn't.
birthday or happy Women's Day?
No, but
Sorry.
well, yeah. So we had women who were like calculators doing all the and they had jobs like that was what they did.
Yeah, the job was a computer.
Yes, so the
I.e.
person was
a
like
person
a
who
computer.
computes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then we had machines that did that, like all the technical, complex, fancy things. And then now we have AI systems which automate things and then call other AI systems to do things. So it's like,
So it's true.
right, it is
The
true.
computers. So is it fair then to say that when they say AI will take our jobs, is it true?
No, I don't think it's true. I mean, AI is not taking much. I don't know about you, but I don't think it's true. And I think that this craze has happened several times with every advancement of technology. Because recently I saw a picture of math teachers. I've forgotten the year, but they were on strike because they thought that the calculator was come to replace math teachers and all that. And
I
look at me
wish.
today.
All I can say is I wish my computer could be a math teacher.
Like, yeah, so
But you know, it gets even worse. I read some time ago that Socrates, the philosopher, he
okay.
was against writing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's news to me.
Oh, like he thought writing was lazy,
Wow.
like committed to memory, and
Interesting.
he felt that people who write would be less effective at memorization. And then when the printing press was invented, this was like in 1400s or so.
Okay.
There was a whole uproar against the printing press too.
Why?
Printing press.
Yeah, because they said write by hand. Why are you printing it?
Oh.
You will lose the skill.
Yeah.
I mean, so like every technological advancement has had its haters.
Yeah.
Pushback.
I read an article too where they were talking about the radio. They said the radio is distracting their children.
In TV.
And yeah, TV was even worse. TV was from the pits of hell.
We haven't seen
TV.
anything yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's like right now they'll collapse when they see 1 year old holding
Holding their tablets everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mess
so
them up.
there has always been that fear about new tech.
Yeah.
And you even see that like AI has been around. I mean, the recent AI,
Yeah.
a couple of years now, 2
Yeah.
years, 3 years,
Oh,
not
more
old.
than that.
Oh,
2012. That's like when the AI peaked in a certain way.
no, please.
Yeah, but
For
yeah,
us, it's
yeah,
2020.
around 20. Well, it's all the goal.
Was it not
for-
ChatGPT that
No,
brought it to
like-
us?
The goal essentially
To
for
everyone. So, I
the
mean, he has a
goal-
point, but
Well, the goal for making computers right from 40s was to make them intelligent,
Autonomous.
autonomous. They call it the Turing
test.
test.
Ah,
Also.
yeah. I think
We
we
spoke
talking about that before.
now.
So as at the time it was made, the goal was that eventually it would sort of come alive.
Yeah.
And I find that interesting. Why human beings want to also make
It's godlike.
yes,
We
things
have
in
the
their
ability
image.
to create. Yeah.
To make things in their image, but then have sort of control over those things. So that's sort of been their goal. But
Even though some will call it parenting, but let's continue.
but there was an AI winter because our imaginations were way beyond what we could
Practically.
actually realize because of the limitation in the infrastructure, the compute.
Yeah.
So it's peaked and then died out severally until 2012.
Yeah.
So in 2012, what they found out essentially was that in terms of hardware, there's a portion of the computer called the GPU,
Yeah.
and they realized that most of the compute resource or most of the computing that particular AI system they were using was involved in was similar to something that GPU was specialized in doing, i.e. images. So the graphics and all of that.
I got lost a while ago.
No. My point being, we just found we just found out that we could leverage something we had already built, a GPU,
Okay.
to accelerate AI development.
Where GPU is graphics
Processing
units.
The boy is light.
Yeah, sharp.
How you light?
So 2012, AI peaked, and then I think 2017, Google did something. The T in ChatGPT.
Yes.
They came up with a paper.
Tell me
The
technology.
transformer-
Tell me the
no,
T technology.
The
It's
transformer
transformer.
model.
Boring.
So that's a very complex, you would understand, it's a mathematical funny thing.
God
And then
forbid.
that T, about 5 years later in 2022, it had matured to become something very cool.
Which is where I
Title
come
of
in.
the paper is All You Need Is Attention.
All you need is attention.
Go and read
It
it.
was a
Very
very
nice
beautiful paper.
Will we put it in the description?
Maybe we can.
Okay, we can put it.
My point is,
in
so
the
from
description.
2022
Or is attention is all you
onwards,
need? I've forgotten. But one
all
of
you
them.
need is attention.
Is it attention is all you need?
Attention is all you need, rather.
All you need is attention. I've
Something
forgotten.
like that.
One of the
Attention is
above.
in it. Attention is in it.
Yeah.
The need is in it.
So
And
from
all you.
so from 2022 onwards, ChatGPT took over, and then I believe that what has always been the case happened. So I think the problem is never the technologies. The problem is always the human beings who are using the technology. And when people complain or raise a red flag that this could go wrong, most often they are right. Because I mean, right now we argue, for example, that the printing press was bashed
Yeah.
seriously,
Big
went
time.
big time. There are studies now that are showing that typing and interacting with printed text is not very good for academic work.
Yeah, it's better
The
to
writing
write.
is better.
Yeah,
So in that sense, whoever raised that red flag was
that's
right.
right.
But as to whether that means we should ban printing entirely, or how shall I say excessive the fight against printing would have been back then, probably was not the case. So I think it's always, as it is with many things in life, it's a balancing act. How do we reap the benefits without having it destroy us? But as human as we are, profit seems to drive us more than
Yeah.
anything else. So if I can maximize my profit, let's put the problems of the future for the future. The kids will solve it when they grow up. After we fry their brains with AI, they will figure out.
But do you think that their brains will be fried?
I think that so I read this from I think it's all online. There's a US professor who has just come up with a particular study.
And
That-
the experiments.
The experiment
different
that's
groups of people.
yes, that suggests that for the first time, a certain group of the Gen Zs, a certain group of people are failing at some standardized tests. And the pattern was that every generation was better than the previous generation. But for the first time, this generation is worse than the generation before it. Now, I've heard arguments, even on Ghanaian radio and all of that, where people say that what we were measuring was wrong. I mean, at time, I should understand calculus per se. There's a different kind of intelligence now that I need. I don't need to understand.
Yeah,
Some kind of
I
things.
would argue that the skills you need to survive in the world are changing.
Are changing.
Yes.
And so the days of rote memorization are gone.
Yeah.
Like right now, I can search for everything on ChatGPT. I don't need to remember. I just need to have a vague sense of it.
Yeah.
So if my ancestors, speaking like me, my grandfather was good at memorizing passages, kudos to him. I have
No, I
ChatGPT
don't
now.
need
I
It's a
don't need to
metric
memorize.
tool.
Yeah, it's no longer a metric or calculating, like good in arithmetic and good in some,
Yeah.
like just take out the calculator, bro.
Makes sense.
So maybe you can argue that the skill set that we need is changing.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that people are scared about tech in general, and we don't know how to approach it. You know, I was talking to you guys about. I'm going to ask on this. Are you a wizard or prophet?
Explain what both are.
I'll
For
explain.
our viewers.
So somebody wrote a book, I forgot the title, and he said there are two kinds of tech people. You have wizards who are pro tech, new inventions all the time. They're the wizards of their day, and you have the prophets who are prophets of doom. So not prophets like we think of in terms of predictions,
Yeah.
but more of like
One
AI is going to
morning.
fry your
Yeah.
brain. AI is going to make you weak. AI is going to make you stupid. Which one are you?
I think I'm a wizard.
It's actually a witch,
I-
but you
Yeah, I mean, you actually I couldn't really answer because I feel I'm in both.
Where's that kakra?
Where's that kakra? I feel as long as we collectively understand that this is something we are playing with in the lab, exploring, just for exploring and curiosity's sake. In that space, that's fine.
Yeah.
But we should be very careful and more thorough when we mean for those things to translate into human. That bridging, that one should be done carefully. But in terms of exploring and wow, we found this out, I think that's cool. Let's go all out.
Okay,
So
I
that we
agree
should
with
be
that.
slow.
Yeah.
Semi.
We should
I
be
think
slow
I would
in
also
the
I would
translation.
also be
I
semi.
think maybe because of my background, when it like the human brain, this is something that dies when you touch it. When you start touching it, you start killing it. So you have to be careful when you have to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's in my personality, but I'm not too quick to change the way things are done, especially when the purpose is just to experiment to see how. There must have been a good reason why things are like this.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Would you have changed the way, using the layman, please don't nerd it out on me. Would you have changed the way AI has been introduced? Like, and when I say AI, I mean LLMs. Really, this is we the lay people. That's what we know.
Yeah.
ChatGPT, Claude.
Yeah.
Would you have changed the way it was introduced to society
No.
from 2022? So you say no.
No.
How about you?
Yeah, I would have.
What would you have
What
done?
would you have
differently?
I would have. Do you know that convolutional neural networks, you may know,
Yeah.
that blew up in 2012 whatever. The US military had been using them way long.
I see.
Yes, it was something they had been exploring. So many of the technologies that finally emerged for civilians have been well explored in the military before.
Speaking of, I heard that war is one of the greatest causes of technological
Yes.
advancement.
Yes.
Yes, it is true.
Yes.
It
Well,
is
so
true.
we should keep our hopes
Yes,
alive for
yes.
America,
Actually,
Israel, Iran.
actually, as
It's
Trump
true.
is also.
So something might happen soon.
I'm
Yes.
telling you.
Fingers crossed.
So my point being, perhaps, and I'm saying this not because I wish it were different,
Yeah.
but you have the problem being the human beings. I think the human being is the problem.
Yeah.
So once something is not properly managed, the human nature thing comes in, and now we are driving the thing so fast. Nobody can even keep tabs on what's happening anymore. And when that happens and we are overwhelmed with the technologies, you have a scenario where, very few people
So
can
when you say the human being, I can see it on one. Okay, I can see it in a number of sides. Maybe help me out with this. Number one, I can see it from greed, where the
Yeah.
people in power
Want.
will do whatever they can to maximize their profits,
Yes.
even when they know that it is bad.
Yes.
I mean, I've heard, I don't know how true it is, that many of the top tech CEOs do not even allow their kids to use
Yes.
their own devices.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's kind of like
moderate.
they moderate use, and then develop the algorithm to addict other people's children.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so that is that. But then there's also the side where I think that human differences are amplified or exacerbated by technological advancements. So I will give an example with ChatGPT. I have found that it's a very good teacher. Like so when I don't understand anything, I go straight there and I say, explain this thing to me like I'm a child, like I'm 6-year-old and I'm a 12-year-old. I do 6, 12, 21 expert. By the time I read all of those, I understand the fundamentals. I recently started using Notebook LM again. It is a lovely, so it's good. And I don't use it to do my work. I use it to understand faster and better. Now somebody else who is predisposed to shortcuts and lazy thinking may go and use ChatGPT to do the assignment.
Yeah, do it for me.
Do it for me. So at the end of the course, I may come out with a deeper understanding than I would have had, even like if I had to go and read, Gast.
Yes.
I know that.
If I gone to read those, like sit down with my Gast and he's really grown. and come serious. Anyway, so yeah, I mean to say that if I'd gone to sit down for hours and hours to grind it out, I would have gotten an understanding. But now I can get a better understanding faster and still come away understanding it. But somebody else who would not have done that with Gast or Com series anyway, he may get the marks but doesn't have understanding. So the difference is exacerbated. I would also say that that is where human nature comes in. But I don't think it can be predicted. Because I don't say this to sound righteous. I mean, there are also other ways I would use AI to cut corners. I like learning. I like learning for learning's sake. I don't mind getting a low score in my exam once I know something. But there are other parts of my life where I will be lazy. And if AI
makes things.
Oh yeah, I'll use it to cut a corner. I don't want to understand. I just want to. So in that other field, somebody who is interested in it will do better than me, and then I may become worse, you become better. So you see that it maybe just widens the difference between people.
So your argument is simply AI is a tool. The attempt of creators or government or managers must not be to try and determine rules of how it should be used.
Yes.
We should allow humanity
to settle
to manifest.
Yes, no, literally.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah, to manifest.
Like that, if you use it to cheat,
that's you.
And it will catch you. Like you.
Well, I guess
Anyways.
practically that's really just what we can do. There's not much.
I
My
think-
worry would be for Africans especially, because I when you check history, we missed many revolutions. I mean, one of my teachers used
I will not still miss it.
I was going to say.
one of my teachers used to make a funny joke that when the apple probably fell on Newton's head and had him thinking about gravity, your great grandfather was probably looking for some squirrel in a barrel, and the smoke was. I mean, it was a little bit something said, but
It's a racist joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
it was a very funny thing. But the point he was trying to make was that several things were happening on our blind side to a large extent.
Yeah.
Things that would, in the end, become mainstream and would affect us was happening when we were not aware it was happening for whatever reason. Now, this AI thing offers another opportunity for a new face to occur. But it looks like we are still not really...
When you say you mean Africa?
with Africans generally, I think we should get a little bit more involved so that we don't have this also happening on our blind side. I don't know whether that makes sense. If there's anything I find urgent, that would be it. Because if this also develops all the way to the end, and then now we have to be consumers of what has been built, then I think it was a bad. You don't make a mistake
But
twice.
I think that, currently how things are now also presents an opportunity for young Africans to rise up.
Agree.
Because we don't have that competition that the Westerners have now. Like, because many people in Africa are now like building things that people in the West have done.
The problems are
already.
here.
Yes, and
the problems
the
to solve are
problems
here.
to solve are here. So I think that also
there's way
presents
more
opportunity
opportunity
for
for us
us
to explore.
to.
Somebody once said that the young African superpower is Africa.
Yes,
It's us.
the human
Yeah.
beings.
But we are missing it.
Yeah.
Well, I have another question. Similar to my first point that AI or technology exacerbates differences between individuals, I would also argue that AI would exacerbate differences between cultures and the values of a culture.
It depends.
And I'm going to give you an example. No offense to anybody, I'm as African as they come. But some cultures do not emphasize values of hard work, integrity, diligence. Some cultures are more showy.
Yeah.
And if AI is introduced to a culture that is more showy and less about foundational basics, you will exacerbate that problem.
Yeah.
So at the end, you may now have again differences of cultures. I'm not going to. People get easily offended about these things,
Yes.
so I'm not going to mention a culture.
Yes.
But some cultures are definitely more quiet, more just get to the grind and suss it out until you understand and then move forward. And those cultures have moved forward.
Yeah.
You have other cultures that are more superficial.
Yeah.
And I think that AI will influence different cultures differently, and so it may exacerbate the gaps between the haves and the have-nots, and the countries or cultures that have and have-nots, unless we change it.
Agreed.
I also agree.
Maybe 80%.
Okay, I'm happy to hear 20%.
But I think that it also presents an opportunity, even though it can be a tool that widens the gap. I find that it may also be the same tool by which we're able to bridge the gap.
Do you not think that will come if we change our cultures?
It could be one of the means through which we change our cultures.
Why do you think so? How do you think that? So
So-
do you think AI? Let's even narrow down the tech conversation to AI. Do you think AI will change our culture?
Like as Ghanaians.
Africans.
Okay, sorry, Africans.
Or Ghanaians even reading.
Yeah.
I think it's possible.
Because I think that sorry to say that our value system has changed drastically. One of the things that upsets me the most in Ghana is burglar proof.
Yeah, that's
Because it tells me that I live in a culture where I'm with
Very
people.
conscious of.
No, I'm with people who want to take things that don't belong to them. That's what, like, I feel like, why do we have such a culture?
I feel like
And then have a culture where we cannot apprehend people who have that mindset.
Yeah.
You know, and then the same thing comes to schoolwork. We have a culture where people feel like it is okay to cheat in exams.
Yeah.
So now when you give such a person an AI tool, we are just worsening the situation.
Recently.
even within that culture, you may have one or two people who don't think that way.
Fair.
In which case, AI will make them more powerful.
Okay, so you think that those people will now take over?
Aha, the few who are, it doesn't take too many people to change the system.
Do you not think that? Do you not think
But-
that the connectedness of the world? Sorry to talk about you for so long. Fight for your rights.
They're going to shut up very soon.
Don't you think that the tragedy? I disagree with that because I think that the globalization of the world has allowed people to choose where to live. So the people you are talking about, they choose not to live in Africa.
Oh, there are people who will so stay no matter what.
Well,
Because not
fight for
even-
your rights.
Not. I think there's a word used for it. Is it altruism?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
not because of that per se, but there are those who really enjoy the challenge.
Like I say,
I'd agree yes. I agree yes.
that's in
Because I
Africa.
give an example of a technology like Momo.
Okay.
Do you know that Momo took the West by surprise?
Yes.
Yes. They sit back and go like, "Ah, this is like really interesting. Like the technology really works. Aha. So there's that's just one example of technology, something that you'd argue the people who use it most now were not really like the people who, but that's an example of a technology that has radically transformed the economic landscape.
That's fair.
Aha. But then this is something that should have been very obvious to another group you would argue were, I mean, had a head start in that light. And it took a few, well, most Nigerians and East Africans, and they are billionaires now, I tell you. I saw a few of them, they are making. So it took a few people to realize that
There's a gap.
there's a gap. And my argument is that the gaps are many.
Yeah.
So if a few more now have this powerful tool called AI, can leverage it well, they will solve more problems. Now the point is, if we can solve, I think I don't know whether it's just a human thing, but something it's inspiring, especially for young people, when they see fellow people who are just like them, sort of making it. It's like, then there's really nothing wrong with us like that. So I find there may be more of those people rising, and AI will be one of the technology that really helps them. And it will cascade and then have the younger people go, I don't need to go and
Do fraud.
ha-
Let's say that's this.
I was going to say brush a horse's teeth. So you know how it's said in tree. You go then.
As I said.
I have no idea.
Oh, ukuchichi ponkosi. That's
Really what
if
you
you are
said.
going, maybe you may be a very big money
Yeah, you go
doctor,
and
then you don't mind
Like to go and
To
do
their
a
going to
house.
flesh room and then.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to speak what you're going to
I
say.
had a lot of things to say.
I'm sorry,
so
but you're
sorry.
going to talk for the
Wait.
next 2 hours.
When you mentioned
Go.
opportunities for people, like a few people in Africa to rise up to do things, and you mentioned that the West didn't identify the Momo problem, I think the reason is because the West, or many people who are doing research in the West, don't do it with Africans in mind.
At all.
So they do it to try and solve their problems.
Which is fair.
Which is fair.
Exactly.
But if we as Africans identify our problems and solve it, then we have like the technological booms like Momo that you were referring to. One of the principles, one of the lectures I really respect in campus has is that he doesn't think that Africans should study abroad. And he says that he feels like when they go there, they go and solve American problems. And
they don't come back.
Yes, and they don't come back.
Partially agree.
Okay, and then they don't come back to solve our problems. But he thinks
I'm going to
that
come as an example of Someone who didn't do that, by the way.
Okay, and he thinks that
One person.
Africans
And that guy, that one person's actions led
To
to a
Ghana.
lot
Do you-
of very
do you-
significant
do you
things
think that-
across Africa.
Do you think that in Kwame Nkrumah's time, the expertise was just not there locally? Now we
Yes.
have the expertise.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Now-
there are also expertise in other areas we
Doctor,
don't have.
now 90% of the people going abroad are going to escape the heat.
Yes, not because they
I
really want to
agree.
do.
But do you know there are also amazing people staying, doing amazing
I'm here.
thing. And yes, you are
Me
here.
too, I'm here.
I know.
Shocking.
Me too, I'm
Some
here.
of your senior colleague medical doctors, they are now building hospitals state of the art, international standards. You walk into a hospital in Kumasi, Ghana, and you're like, okay, this is a private hospital. And this guy could easily have made millions, whatever, but they are deciding to be here.
I think that's a tragedy, by the way.
Why?
Today's not a healthcare conversation.
Yeah, it's one side. But
We'll discuss that one day.
the point I was
It's a
trying to
tragedy.
make is that while AI will or has the potential to widen the gaps and leverage bad culture or habits we have to make us bad, whatever. The positive thing I also see is for the few outstanding, you could call them entrepreneurs, leaders, AI will become a tool they can leverage to really make impact and really do good. Perhaps even good will override them.
I can see it happening. I hope it happens.
I also
definitely
hope
see.
so, but I think that we also still have that fight with people who are doing amazing things in AI and the government agreeing to all the things that they want to do.
Momo didn't really even start with government.
They didn't need the government.
They didn't need the government.
But-
I've heard a very respected lawyer say that if you're going to wait for politicians who unfortunately, I mean, I used to blast politicians a lot, but I'm beginning to understand that sometimes it's not as easy as we see. There's a lot of heat on those chairs they sit on. So sometimes when you get there, you had good intentions, you wanted to solve Nana's problem, but
I disagree, by the way, but let's continue.
anyway, my point
It's
is
also not a political.
the growth may not come from
From
the
the government.
politicians. Yes, it will
Yeah.
come from
I'm
private
not
sector.
even saying so much of the growth like the resistance, because maybe yes,
Like-
I've built an AI model and it is a great tool to be used in the health sector, and I want to deploy it, but maybe the government in power has a brother who has some, and it
inferior
becomes an
tool.
inferior tool, and mine is not chosen because of
Well,
favoritism.
I would
if
argue
we
with-
develop so well, we could get to the point that even what we describe as inferior and really is inferior will be sufficient.
And also, I'd argue with Prince that I would argue that sometimes you should just go straight to the people and let the people go
Okay.
to their feet, rather
Okay.
than going through the government.
Yeah, the government
Because the
sometimes.
government has ulterior motives. But
Sure.
the average
Not all the
person,
time.
So you deploy a model.
The
So
reason
you
why I'm
say
sort of defending the government now is that you notice that when they get into power, they realize that, okay, what I'm fighting against is really not what I thought I was fighting against. Sometimes your hands are tight. They can't tell you the full details, but sometimes your hands are tight by powers in higher places,
yeah, but there is an ultimate high. I would say that
which is God anyway.
if somebody, I think we can discuss this on another podcast, that if Ghanaian leaders and Ghanaian people wanted to develop in 20 years, we will be
It's
a
possible.
first world country.
Oh.
The political will is not there. The citizenry doesn't have that desire either.
Exactly.
None of us want to do that,
Exactly.
you know, and that is fine.
So it's not the politician entirely.
I didn't say that, but they are definitely not.
Yeah.
But again, it is not. I think we deserve the leaders we have.
No,
Oh.
I don't agree.
But
I don't agree.
again, this
Let's
was a
not make it
political
a
podcast.
political
Anyway,
podcast.
you know what? I think we are largely aligned that
Mhm.
AI will either make or break us.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we are hoping that it will make us. I agree with you that it has the capacity to close the gap.
We
we can.
empower few who will
I
close the
think
gap.
I think that Africa has the potential to jump or leapfrog over the industrial
Agree.
revolution,
Agree.
leapfrog even the information age, and
Agree.
enter straight into the AI age.
1,000%.
I think we do.
1,000%.
I can only hope that our culture will allow us to,
And
or the values of our culture will align.
Hi guys, hope you enjoyed this fantastic episode on AI. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the link. Bye.
What do you think about the church taking a lead in that space?
The church.
Yes. If there's any institution that has succeeded in
Okay.
Africa, despite
It's the
all the
church.
wahala we have, is the church.
Which is true. So you think that the church would make people
I'm interested in exploring what role you think the church should play or will play going forward.
I think the church globally has had church and culture have they have this reverse causality kind of thing where they are influencing each other.
Yeah.
So many people ascribe the development of Europe to the Protestant work ethic, Christian virtues of hard work. I think that unfortunately, when Christianity came to Africa, we didn't pick that part. When we read the scriptures, we don't see the part that says the hand of the nation to bear rule. We don't see that bit. And again, it comes back to now culture informing our use of religion. So I don't know. I think the church has a potential to lead, but I'm not hopeful. I'm not hopeful.
I am. I think it may be a little bit too early to to lose hope in the church.
The reason I say that, I don't think the church has had a positive, and I say this as a church person, I don't think the church has had a positive impact on the average African's value system.
I disagree. I think net it has had a positive.
I don't think so.
I think it has.
Again, like I said, in a 70% Christian country like Ghana, we will not have burglar proof on our walls.
Okay.
We wouldn't have burglar proof in our windows. And we will not have widespread, rampant cheating at BEC, WASI, and the university.
I think I get what he's saying.
We have
our
not,
values
because
are
again,
still-
I had a pastor preach one. He said that, he lived in Ghana most of his life. Then he had some of his friends visit him from abroad. And according to him, they opened his eyes to how dangerous where he was living was. They're like, but you can just die from this. This can kill you. That can kill you. And my point being, but he survived.
No, but that's the best way.
No. He had peace of mind to survive in a chaotic setting like this all this while.
But you see, the Christian ethic of I grew up hearing cleanliness is next to godliness. Then there is there's no godliness in this.
I'm not arguing that
there's none.
The church has peaked in what it can do. I'm arguing that it is growing. Even really what the gospel is and what we should focus on. It's only recently that our attention is. At first, we were interested in doing other kinds of things.
Yes. So the argument is that this cannot be a hope. You see, and so that's why I'm saying that I don't think the church. If we read the Bible properly, it should be the help, but it hasn't been.
I don't even mean like from that point, but if there's any institution now that has capacity to hold people's attention and their focus and teach them, is the church.
I agree.
Currently
in social media.
Yes, and
social media.
And the church is even fighting to even gain hold within the social media.
Yes.
So if there's a vehicle through which
I don't disagree with you.
will become alive and leverage AI, for example.
I don't disagree with the capacity. I disagree with the direction. I feel like if the direction is realigned, yes. But currently it's not aligned.
So let's
However, speaking about AI and religion,
yes.
What do you think about AI generated worship music?
Well, this morning on my
Oh
Spotify, I was listening to this one.
Worshiping God through the
It was so
conduit.
nice. Like honestly, so when I finished listening to it, I decided to go and look who the artist
was an
is,
AI.
and I was like, oh, that was really nice.
So AI.
I mean,
I thought we need to, like, me when I was growing up in the church, they told me that the spirit of the musician and all of the above. So
It's also
That's like when they played the
So then that's what I'm saying. What is the role of AI? And then recently I saw that the Pope has also said people shouldn't use AI for their sermons. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I also don't know. But one of the things I know is that AI just takes what is there and generates something else. So even though it looks like it's something that is generated and is not real, in a way it is real.
What do you mean by that?
Like,
so Prince was telling me
for example,
Prince was telling me
Prince was telling me
that now you can take all the sermons from a man of God
And
then
generate a new one.
And I was telling him that that is unethical. It is wrong.
There's
It is
nothing
evil.
Like, it's-
unethical about
it's
that.
like-
And I will be
it's
so
a new-
upset if you did it to me because I didn't say that.
Which
Oh,
is true.
no. No. You don't get the point. If you understand how AI works, what you just feed it feeds back to you in a different sense. So maybe you would have said, when you come to Christ, you go to heaven. That those are the words that you give to AI. AI will push it back to you and tell you, heaven, that's where you are going if you come to Christ.
I didn't say
Yeah,
that.
but sometimes
Essentially the same thing.
but sometimes AI also does
It passes
something.
me.
Yeah, that's what you're training this.
Passes push.
So if I think it would be useful to some extent. Yeah,
So we can use. So you believe AI generated sermons are fine?
No.
I don't think
I-
AI generated sermons are fine.
It
because
depends. Yeah, I don't have a
I-
problem with it actually. It depends. So for example, there's something I do personally. Sometimes there's a 4-hour sermon. Okay. You can listen to it through several times and be blessed and all of that. And I like to just have some notes, maybe to go and share it with someone else or something. I just transcribe and pass it through AI. And it summarizes it beautifully for me. When you check the summary, it's exactly what.
But it's because you want to share with somebody.
Yes.
Now let's look at the case where you are making AI generate a sermon that
From
you are going
scratch.
to preach
I
from
think it comes back
scratch.
to what we were talking about, the human beings
Yes,
using
the
the
human
system.
beings
In that
using
case, where was your inspiration?
Yes,
AI.
So with that,
The Church of
the Church of God.
Church of Claude, yes.
Imagine Paul writing to all these churches.
Or the spirit of Claude.
In
Yeah,
that
but-
case, it will not be authentic. It would be like a fake Christian.
Yeah.
Like it's with us, it's with you around. He can raise his hands and worship and do everything, but it's not. It doesn't have consciousness. It doesn't have.
So that's my question. I don't have an opinion by the way yet. I'm still forming my opinion. I've been thinking about it for a couple of hours.
Depends.
Like again with the AI generated worship music, AI generated
The
sermons.
music part is. a
I
tricky bit.
feel like is it the material that we need, or we need
Yes.
a spirit
Yeah.
that we can, because the spirit that we cannot measure.
The AI music part, I haven't had time to think deeply into it, but I'd argue that
I'm still thinking about
it
it.
depends on the AI.
But
Why does it depend on AI now?
Like you said,
yeah,
it just
a lawyer.
dictates what you feed it.
Yes.
So if I take denomination A, all of your songs, and throw it into an AI, it will uncover a pattern, a way you think.
Yes,
And
yes.
then based on that same principle, it
Yes.
can begin to give me some type of
Exactly.
music that aligns with exactly how I'm thinking. So in this
I
case,
didn't
it is.
see it.
What do you mean?
No,
You
we are
didn't
not
say
saying
it.
you said it.
Or
So
sing it.
we are not
Sing-
saying you sang it, because I don't think that the aim is to say, for example, maybe let me not mention names, but let's say we have sermons from a denomination, like he said. We are not trying to say that this sermon is part of what was preached.
Okay, I say that we're just
It
generating
is,
a new
yes, a new sermon, which I think is
To what
fine.
end?
For
For
the
several people, so in my use case, for example, I did not make thorough notes enough, but I've been blessed and I've listened to the message. That's how come I can even judge whether the summary from the AI is good or not good. So
Because
in
you
the context of
listened.
because I listened. So I think that for use cases where, so for example, there was a tool I know a church was building. They've put all their pastors preaching into an AI system. So you can just ask, what has pastor said about this topic? Then you can set all the sermons he started preaching and
that's
summarize everything
interesting.
he has said about the subject. Now that's a very good use of AI. Hitherto you would have had to listen to all
the
those
messages.
sermons and then get it. I don't know whether you did. It's similar to
I don't know how I feel about it.
I also,
no, it's similar to a
I feel like-
digitized Bible.
Yes.
in
Why should you
between.
know where a verse is? Sometimes you don't know where the whole verse is. You just type a phrase, then it tells you exactly where the verse is. That's laziness. You should read your Bible and remember everything.
Literally, I'm old school. I'm a prophet.
I'm in between.
So sometimes it's useful. It depends on how you use it.
You
But
use it.
it's the music part that's a little tricky.
Why is it
for me.
tricky? The idea is the same.
The music part is a little tricky because we've been taught
That's
that the
But-
melody.
Big what you thought
yeah,
is
then,
wrong.
and then because sermons
We
to
can-
the
we can
spirit
smoke
behind
it.
it.
I don't mind throwing away what I was taught. Like, It is what it is.
I mean,
Anyway,
we
I think we
can-
can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Where
we
do
always end this podcast by asking, where do you think we are going from here? We've spoken about AI and culture, we've spoken about AI and religion, or Christianity largely.
Yeah.
So let's give Prince this. Where do you think we are going?
Yes.
Or do you want to start?
No, he should start.
Tell us where do you think we are
Where do you think
heading?
we are heading?
I think
Africa and
heading-
AI.
Yeah,
AI
I think
in
we're heading
general.
into a time where Africa, Christians, whatever you call it, if you are a good person, and I use good, I don't use good in the sense of good, but I mean if you are someone who has or is interested in making this world a better place, making Africa a better place, making your work with God better, making anything you are doing better, that's really your.
Do you mean to say if your intentions are pure?
If your
Yes.
intentions are pure,
You have
You have
integrity.
good-
you have integrity. I mean,
Motives.
if you are like one of the people I spoke about in Africa, like these leaders, then you should pay attention to AI because it is one of the tools that will make the impact you will make, whether it's in your continent, it's in your business, wherever it is. It's one of the tools that has come to really help you. If you are the opposite of that person, like I described, you don't have to be that way. You should. it's also a tool that can help you to at least get some small integrity and some small good intentions. And if we take advantage of it well, I think it's going to bridge the gap that we discussed, and it's going to make the life of a lot of people better. If we don't manage it well, like historically humans have done, then it will not do that for us. So the call is to let's manage it well.
Do you have
Yes.
anything to say?
I don't. First of all, I don't think that we're going to have another AI winter. I think that.
Really?
I don't think we're going to have such a dip.
Oh, I have what I'm going to say.
I
You
know.
chose
I
to relax.
I think that now we have a certain foundation with AI, and it's always going to get back there. But it wouldn't be like such a dip where there's no research being done, there's no new things being done again. I also think, and I'd like to encourage any girl watching this pod to explore AI, and especially if you're an African girl, I think that it is a good field.
African women in STEM is like the best place
Yes.
to be in the world.
You
at
know,
the time.
It's true.
today,
Every grant.
Hey!
Every grant.
It's like your biggest thing is to be a man. Anyway, white man, you are doomed. I said, thank God I'm
What
black.
to do? It's over for
today
you.
I was applying for a conference, and then my friend was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm applying." And she said, "Send me the link," and I sent him the link, and he came back and was like, "Oh, it's for African women." I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
You didn't realize it's you.
But yeah, go for it, go for it, go for it.
I agree. Change your course. Find a way to do AI. And now, right now, everybody does AI somehow. I saw AI and climate change, AI and
Yeah.
health.
Yeah, everything. Business, economics.
Look,
everything.
add AI, be black, be a woman, you made it. You made it. And I don't begrudge them that enjoy it.
Yeah, it's your season.
The wise man had their time. One the black man will have his.
It's your season.
Hopefully we'll still be alive and young. Okay, anyway. I think that we will have another AI winter.
Oh.
Because I think AI has been hyped, and
Taken over by marketers.
yes, and then we're going to realize that the human brain is infinitely more powerful than we think, and there will always be a difference between. I was, somebody was saying that when you had artists before the invention of the camera, artists were graded by how realistic their paintings were, because you had to just you had to capture the moment. When cameras were invented, artists now were not required to paint realistic images, so that there was so much more room for creativity and imagination, and that's how we had world-class drawings. You had Picasso and Matisse and all of those people playing with paints and things, and you see that this is what AI can do. So I think that in the same vein, now that we have an AI tool to handle the donkey work, the people who are truly intelligent
Will emerge.
and truly bright
Yeah.
can rise above the rubble. Yes. But the people who think AI is going to change their lives are going to
The
be
A
tremendously
The A in AI is artificial.
artificial. Yeah. So I think that we're going to realize that it's not as great as we think it is.
Yeah.
It is fantastic,
Yes.
but not as much as we think it is. And what is between your ears, that's what they call the brain, is
Yeah.
infinitely more powerful
Yeah.
Yeah.
than AI. And so we're going to at a point people will lose interest in it. And I realize that.
Oh, I don't think people.
No, when I say like you said, there will be a flaw.
Yes.
That will, I mean, I'm not going to go back to it. I pay for a ChatGPT subscription because it does so much donkey work for me.
Yes.
I'm not going to go back.
Yes.
I'm not going to go back
So
to that level of
yeah,
donkey
there's
work.
a level now, so I don't.
But I'm also not deceived to think that it is more like I know that I'm more creative and I'm
Yes,
smarter than it, and
definitely.
I'm happy to let it do the donkey work
Yeah.
while we ascribe to higher things. We've spoken about a lot of things, and I hope that this has been an inspiration to be a
Yeah.
good person, as Prince. The good, not the good in a good way, but the good as
Yeah,
Prince described.
yeah.
And if you have, what did we talk about even? I
What
don't
did-
know. We spoke about AI and,
Yeah.
and cultures, AI and
Yeah.
religion.
Sure.
We'll be happy to hear your thoughts about all that we discussed. Prince, thank you very much for joining us
It's a
today.
pleasure, it's
It's
exciting.
an honor to have an AI researcher to my far right and another
That's
AI
to your
researcher
right.
to my right. I'm hoping that I got a little smarter in this conversation. A little of their greatest background from me. But I'll see you again next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and tell us what you want us to talk about.
Yes, tell us what you want to talk about. Bye.
Bye.